Hello, everyone. Today, I want to ask you a simple question. What do you see when you look in the mirror? Perhaps you see your face. Perhaps you see your hair. Perhaps you see eyes that still look a little tired. Many of us begin our day this way. We stand in front of a mirror for only a few seconds. Sometimes we smile. Sometimes we do not. Sometimes we only look long enough to brush our hair before walking away. It feels like a very small moment. But sometimes, that small moment can quietly change the rest of the day. Imagine waking up on a Monday morning. The room is quiet. The sunlight is coming through the window. You walk into the bathroom. You look into the mirror. Then a thought appears. I don't look good today. It is only one sentence. Only a few words. But suddenly your shoulders feel a little heavier. You become quieter. You stop smiling. Nothing around you has changed. The room is the same. The morning is the same. But your thoughts have changed. Now imagine another morning. The same room. The same mirror. The same person. This time you notice something different. You slept well. Your face looks calm. You smile without thinking. You leave your house feeling lighter. Again. Nothing around you has changed very much. Only one thought has changed. Isn't that interesting? The mirror did not create your day, but sometimes it seems to help create your thoughts. Many people believe the mirror tells the truth. But does it? The mirror can show your face. It can show your eyes. It can show your smile. It can even show a small wrinkle or a tired expression. But there are many things the mirror cannot show. It cannot show your kindness. It cannot show your patience. It cannot show how hard you have been trying. It cannot show the English words you learned yesterday. It cannot show the courage it took to begin again. Think about that for a moment. Every day you become a little different. Perhaps you listened to another English story. Perhaps you learned one new word. Perhaps you spoke one sentence that felt difficult yesterday. Those things changed you. But when you look into the mirror, you cannot see any of them. That is because the most important changes are often invisible. Imagine planting a small seed. The next morning you look at the ground. Nothing. The second morning. Nothing. The third morning. Still nothing. If you only believe your eyes, you might think nothing is happening. But underneath the soil, something is already changing. Tiny roots are growing. Slowly. Quietly. Patiently. You cannot see them. But they are there. People grow the same way. Many changes happen before anyone can see them. Confidence grows quietly. Patience grows quietly. Knowledge grows quietly. English grows quietly. That is why many people stop too early. They look into the mirror. They look at their life. Then they say, nothing is changing. But perhaps they are looking in the wrong place. Imagine a person learning to play the piano. On the first day, every note feels difficult. The hands move slowly. The music stops again and again. 1 week later, it still feels hard. 1 month later, it still feels imperfect. If that person only looked for perfection, they might quit. But something else is happening. The fingers are remembering. The ears are learning. The mind is becoming calmer. Small changes are happening every day. They are simply too quiet to notice. Learning English is often like that. One day you hear a sentence. You understand only 3 words. A few weeks later, you understand 5. Then 7. Then almost everything. The change did not happen in one day. It happened one small step at a time. Life often works the same way. We usually notice big changes, but life is built by small ones. One kind word, one page, one lesson, one walk, one promise kept, one mistake forgiven, one quiet decision to continue. Little by little, those moments become who we are. Tomorrow morning, you will probably look into a mirror again. When you do, remember one simple thing. The mirror can show you who you are today, but it cannot show you who you are becoming. And perhaps that is the most beautiful part of growing. Sometimes we spend more time looking at our reflection than looking at our life. We stand in front of the mirror. We fix our hair. We straighten our clothes. We look from one side, then the other side. Sometimes we even smile once to see how we look. Then we leave the house. It is such a normal part of life that we almost never think about it. The mirror has become part of our morning. But have you ever noticed something? The mirror always shows you today. Only today. It never shows tomorrow. It never shows next month. It never shows the person you are slowly becoming. That part is invisible. Imagine a young woman getting ready for work. She looks into the mirror. She feels tired. She thinks, I don't look very confident. Then she goes to work anyway. She smiles at one customer. She helps another. She learns one new thing. She solves one small problem. When she comes home that evening, she is a little wiser than she was that morning. Can the mirror see that? No. Imagine a young man learning English. Every evening he listens to one story. Sometimes he understands almost everything. Sometimes he understands very little. Some days feel easy. Some days feel frustrating. After one lesson, he looks exactly the same. After 2 lessons, he still looks the same. Even after 1 month, the mirror shows the same face. But inside, hundreds of small changes are happening. His ears are becoming more familiar with English. His mind is beginning to recognize new words. His fear is becoming a little smaller. His confidence is becoming a little stronger. The mirror cannot show any of those things. That is why many people become discouraged. They expect invisible growth to become visible too quickly. Imagine planting a tiny apple seed. The next morning you run outside. Nothing. The second morning, still nothing. The third morning, nothing again. If you only believe what your eyes can see, you may think the seed is doing nothing. But under the ground, the seed is very busy. Small roots begin to grow. They search for water. They become stronger every day. The most important work happens where nobody is looking. People grow in the same way. The strongest changes often happen quietly. Kindness grows quietly. Patience grows quietly. Wisdom grows quietly. English grows quietly. That is why comparing yourself to other people can be dangerous. You only see their leaves. You cannot see their roots. Perhaps someone speaks English very well. You hear smooth sentences. You hear clear pronunciation. You think, I wish I could speak like that. But you did not hear their first conversation. You did not hear the words they forgot. You did not hear the mistakes that made them feel embarrassed. You only see today's tree. You did not see yesterday's seed. Imagine 2 students. The first student studies for 3 hours one day, then becomes tired, then stops for 2 weeks. The second student studies for only 15 minutes every day. Some days feel successful, some days do not. But the student keeps showing up, week after week, month after month. Which student will improve more? Most people already know the answer. Not because one student is smarter, because one student trusted small habits. Life is full of things that become powerful through repetition. A musician practices one song again and again. An athlete repeats the same movement thousands of times. A gardener waters the plants every morning. A writer finishes one page before writing another. None of these people expect one day to change everything. They trust many ordinary days. Perhaps we should learn from them. Many people wait for a big change, a better job, a better body, better English, more confidence, a happier life. But big changes usually begin in very quiet places. One page, one lesson, one walk, one healthy meal, one kind word, one promise you keep. Those moments seem too small to matter. Yet they matter the most. Think about a river. A river does not become deep overnight. One drop joins another, then another. Year after year, the water shapes the rocks, slowly, patiently, without making a lot of noise. Habits work like water. You may not notice today's effort, but today's effort is quietly shaping tomorrow. That is why the mirror sometimes tells an incomplete story. It says, "This is who you are," but your habits whisper, "This is who you are becoming." The mirror can only show the person standing in front of it. Your habits are already building the person who will stand there next year. Perhaps that is the reflection that matters most. Perhaps that is why life can sometimes feel unfair. We look into the mirror. We look at other people. Then we quietly ask ourselves, why do they seem so different? They look so confident. They speak English so naturally. They always seem happy. The mirror gives us one small picture. Our minds quickly create a whole story. But mirrors leave out almost everything. Imagine watching the last 5 minutes of a movie. You see the happy ending. Everyone is smiling. The problem has been solved. The music is beautiful. If that is all you see, you may think the story was easy. But you missed everything that came before. You missed the difficult beginning. You missed the mistakes. You missed the long journey. Life is often like that. We see someone else's ending. We compare it with our beginning. That comparison is never fair. Think about an old photograph. A family is standing together. Everyone is smiling. Years later, someone looks at the picture and says, "What a perfect day." But the photograph tells only 1 second of the story. It does not show the father waking up early to prepare everything. It does not show the mother worrying that the children might be late. It does not show the little arguments in the car. It does not show the rain that almost ruined the trip. One picture cannot tell the whole story. Neither can a mirror. Many people believe confidence is something you can see. But confidence is usually built when nobody is watching. A person reads one page, then another. Someone practices one English sentence, then another. Someone wakes up a little earlier, exercises for 20 minutes, keeps a promise, tries again after making a mistake. Day after day, nothing looks very different, but something inside is slowly becoming stronger. Imagine a bridge being built across a river. On the first day, there is almost nothing. A few pieces of wood, some tools, a little noise. People walk by and think, this will take forever. The next week, it still looks unfinished. The next month, it still looks incomplete. Some people stop paying attention. Then one day, cars begin to cross the bridge. Everyone says, the bridge is finished. But the bridge did not appear that morning. It was built one piece at a time. Your future is built the same way, not all at once. One small choice at a time. Think about learning English. Many people wait for the day when they will suddenly become fluent. They imagine waking up one morning and speaking with confidence. But that day almost never comes that way. Instead, confidence arrives quietly. One conversation feels a little easier. One story becomes easier to understand. One sentence comes without translating in your mind. Those moments seem small, but they are signs that something beautiful has been growing for a long time. Imagine two mirrors. One mirror shows your face. The other shows every habit you repeated this year. Which mirror would tell you more about your future? Perhaps the second one, because habits are like tiny votes. Every time you repeat a habit, you vote for the person you want to become. Read one page. That is one vote. Listen to one English story. Another vote. Choose kindness instead of anger. Another vote. Go for a walk instead of giving up. Another vote. One vote does not decide everything, but thousands of small votes slowly create a new person. That is why today's small choice matters. Not because today changes everything, because today joins yesterday, and tomorrow will join today. Little by little, a new picture begins to appear. The interesting thing is this: the mirror will never remember those choices. It will only show the result. People may look at you one day and say, "You are lucky. You learn quickly. You are naturally confident." They will see the reflection. They will not see the mornings you wanted to stay in bed. They will not see the evenings when you studied, even though you were tired. They will not see the days when you almost gave up. The mirror never saw those moments, but they are the reason the reflection changed. So the next time you stand in front of a mirror, do not ask only, "What do I see?" Ask another question. What choices created the person looking back at me? And perhaps, the answer will make you smile much more than your reflection ever could. Sometimes people stand in front of a mirror and wish for a different reflection. I wish I looked happier. I wish I looked stronger. I wish I looked more confident. Those wishes are very human. Almost everyone has felt them. But imagine something for a moment. Imagine wiping the mirror again and again. You clean every corner. You polish the glass until it shines. Now the mirror is perfectly clean. Has your life changed? No. The reflection becomes clearer. But the person inside the reflection is still the same. The mirror was never the problem. Think about a student. Every day the student checks the test score. 90, 85, 92. The numbers matter. But imagine spending every day thinking only about the score. Never reading another page. Never practicing. Never asking questions. Would the score improve? Probably not. The score is only the reflection. The study is what creates it. Life works in the same way. Results are reflections. Habits create results. Imagine another person. This person wants to become healthier. Every morning, the first thing they do is stand on a scale. They look at the number. Sometimes they smile. Sometimes they feel disappointed. Then they check again tomorrow. And again. And again. But they never go for a walk. They never change what they eat. They never sleep a little earlier. The number stays almost the same. Not because the scale is wrong, because the days never changed. The mirror is like that scale. It tells you where you are. It cannot take you where you want to go. Only today's choices can do that. Imagine a painter. Every evening, the painter steps back and looks at the canvas. The picture is still unfinished. Some colors are missing. Some lines look strange. Should the painter become angry at the canvas? Of course not. The painter simply picks up the brush again. One more color. One more careful line. Tomorrow, the picture will be a little better. Life is often painted that way. Not in one perfect moment, but in thousands of quiet moments. Perhaps this is why so many people feel frustrated. They keep looking for change in the reflection, instead of creating change in the routine. Think about your own English. Maybe today you still stop to think before speaking. Maybe you still forget simple words. Maybe you still feel nervous when someone speaks too quickly. The mirror cannot tell you that next month will be different, but your habits can. Every story you listen to changes something. Every sentence you read changes something. Every mistake teaches something. Every small effort becomes part of tomorrow. Imagine two gardens. One gardener walks around every morning. The flowers are beautiful. The grass is green. The gardener smiles. The second gardener stands in front of a photograph of a beautiful garden. Every day the gardener looks at the picture. I wish my garden looked like that. Then the gardener goes inside. No seeds are planted. No flowers are watered. No weeds are removed. 1 year later, one garden is full of life. The other is still only a picture. Dreams without daily care remain dreams. The same is true for confidence. The same is true for kindness. The same is true for English. The same is true for almost everything that matters. Sometimes we ask, when will my life change? Perhaps there is another question. What can I do before tomorrow's mirror? Because tomorrow's reflection is quietly being created today. Not while you are looking at yourself, but while you are living. While you are learning. While you are helping someone. While you are keeping one small promise. While you are choosing not to give up. Those moments may seem ordinary. They may even feel too small to matter. But ordinary moments are where extraordinary lives begin. A river does not become wide in one afternoon. A mountain is not shaped in one season. A book is not written in one night. One page becomes another. One chapter becomes another. Until one day, the story is complete. Your life is being written in exactly the same way. Not by what the mirror shows, but by what you choose to do after you walk away from it. So tomorrow morning, when you stand in front of the mirror, smile if you can. Then do not stay there for too long. The most important part of your day is waiting outside the reflection. That is where tomorrow begins. Perhaps tomorrow morning will begin just like every other morning. You will wake up. You will wash your face. You will stand in front of the mirror. For a few quiet seconds, you will look at yourself. Perhaps you will smile. Perhaps you will not. Perhaps you will notice that your hair is a little messy. Perhaps you will notice that you still look tired. That is perfectly normal. We all have mornings like that. But before you walk away, I hope you remember one small thing. The mirror is only showing one moment. It is not showing your whole story. It cannot show the book you read last night. It cannot show the English story you listened to yesterday. It cannot show the promise you kept when no one was watching. It cannot show the moment you almost gave up but decided to continue. Those moments are real, even if no one else can see them. Imagine an old oak tree. When people walk past it, they admire how tall it is. They look at the strong branches. They enjoy the cool shade. Children play beneath it. Birds build nests in it. Everyone notices the tree. Very few people think about the thousands of quiet mornings that helped it grow. The gentle rain, the warm sunlight, the long winters, the windy days, the deep roots. The tree remembers every season. Even if no one else does, people are very much the same. Others may only see today's version of you, but you know the mornings that were difficult. You know the evenings when you kept studying even though you felt tired. You know the days when you wanted to quit. You know the quiet victories that no one applauded. Those moments are part of you now. Perhaps that is why real confidence feels different. It is quiet. It does not need to prove anything. It does not need everyone to notice. It simply comes from keeping promises to yourself. Little by little, day after day. The same is true for English. One story may not change your life. One new word may seem very small. One lesson may not feel important. But you already know something now. A promise becomes trust. A marble becomes a full jar. A broken crayon still brings color. A small habit quietly changes the reflection. None of these things happen in one day. They happen because someone chooses to continue. Again, and again, and again. Perhaps that person is becoming you. One day, you may stand in front of the mirror and notice something different. Not because your face has changed, but because your eyes look calmer. Your smile comes more naturally. You no longer worry so much about being perfect. You no longer compare yourself every day. You simply keep learning. You simply keep growing. You simply keep showing up, and without realizing it, the person in the mirror begins to look like the person you hoped to become. Not because the mirror changed, because you did. So tomorrow morning, look into the mirror, smile if you can, then step away. Go read one page, listen to one English story, learn one new word, help one person, keep one promise, take one small step. Those quiet moments will never appear in the mirror, but one day, they will appear in your life. And when that day comes, you may finally understand something. The mirror was never showing your future. Your choices were. Thank you for spending this quiet time with me. I hope that every time you look into a mirror from now on, you remember to look beyond the reflection. Because the most beautiful part of you is still growing. And perhaps, it always will. See you in the next story.